Hello, this is Duntov. So today I am at the athletics ballpark site. It is Monday, July 14th, 2025. So right now it is 6:35 a.m. So I was here a week ago. We're gonna check out what's going on. Alright, so you can see they're moving this thing around. You know, I was calling it a rock crusher last week, but people in the comments were saying that it's used to just make a finer, like break the dirt down to make it a little finer material. So you can see right now they're moving it around. But you can see how much of it that they did last week. That pile got pretty big. So it just looks like they're repositioning it to, you know, start putting some more of the piles, you know, around there. Alright, so when I was driving in, I drive down from Las Vegas Boulevard south heading north, and I actually passed, or these came off the freeway right down by Town Square. You can see they're bringing in another crane, and if you notice that crane, there's no tracks on it, so the tracks were following behind. I think there's one right there. There's the one set of tracks, and then there was another truck back this way. So they just pulled in. I passed them on my way in here this morning. So we're getting another big crawler crane on site. Curious how they, you know, how they get these tracks in place. I'm assuming with you know, they got to use another crane to build it, but you can see that big giant flatbed that it's on. They're pretty big. Let me zoom in on the main part of the crane again, because I know a lot of my viewers, you guys are really good at letting us know like what kind of equipment it is. So we can see right there, Liebherr. So it's a 1300. If you watched my, what's it called, Allegiant Stadium videos, they had a lot of these crawler cranes there. They didn't have any of the tower cranes. So, you know, I had names for all of the crawler cranes. We had Jaws, Tweety Bird, Big Red, so we'll have to see. This might even be one, you know, that they used over there. And then, you know, so they'll be getting that built. Excuse me. Alright, so I'm looking though. You got the one flatbed pulled up next to it. I don't know how that works. If somehow they have it situated where they could just pull up next to it and somehow, you know, it lines up, I don't know. Alright, well, we're out here. We'll keep an eye. I don't know how quick they would, you know, build something like that, but we'll keep an eye on it and see. Next, I want to check out the tower crane. We can see now that they put the walls around the base of the structure. So that tells me that, you know, that base must be mounted properly. If you watched my earlier videos, we saw that before the official groundbreaking ceremony, they did have this base sitting here, and then after the ceremony they removed the base and they were working on some stuff. So it seems like, you know, they had to fix something, reposition it, and get it back. You can see these two guys here. The one guy, if you look, or the one that was just walking away, looks like they have a platform back behind there. That would, you know, might be for a crane to sit on, so they don't sink down into the dirt. And maybe they're bringing this other crane in here to help lift pieces into place to get this crane going here. If we look around this lower level of the stadium, we can see they have there's still a lot of these other little crane. You can see this blue and white crane, and then they do have the drill rig. Looks like they just drilled something out. You can see it's all dirty, and you can see right here, I mean, it's not wet where it looks like they just did it, but you can see how that rig is, it's actually still in the ground there. And then there you can see the lights, so people are saying they're doing a lot of the drilling and installing of the rebar cages at night, because I have yet to see them lift any in the place. So alright, they're moving this drill rig around, so let's see if maybe they're going to start using it today. Okay, so we could see they got this crusher moved, and they're starting to dump material into it. You can also see the sun's coming out. We have cloud cover behind me where it was keeping the hot sun away, but right now it broke through. Today's supposed to be the hottest day of the year so far. It's going to be, I think they said, about 112. So it gets pretty hot. You know, again, there is not much humidity out here. That does make a difference. I was back east last month, and it was only like 80 degrees with that 100% humidity. It actually felt hotter to me than it did here at 100 degrees, you know, over 100 degrees. So I'm not used to the humidity, so to me that's worse than the heat. But I've been out here 36 years now, so I'm not used to that humidity at all. back to this crane I saw them driving in with. So if you notice though, there's no you know, no boom or anything on this crane. Also, you know, they can't drive with any of the, you know, any of the parts together because it's just so big. So as I was driving in, I did see parked, we have the church over here, and then this little side road I did see on a trailer. And if we look back here, you can see this water tank here, and then behind that there's a piece of the crane back there. There was a semi sitting over there like waiting around, so I'm assuming that's part of this crane that's gonna get built. That is the only part of the boom that I saw. Or actually, I'm not sure, you know, I know there's a jib and there's a boom, so I forget which is which, so. But there's part of it back there. They're also waiting to get that going. If we look around the site, we got, you know, they put all these rebar cages down into the ground, you know, and then they were working along this area. So this area again, if we look at this upper level, you got these, you can see that white pickup there, and then you got this other truck here. So this truck here, like towards the back of it, like by the tailgate area, that's where the home plate was. Might be this right there. Yes, you can see a teeny bit of it. That green marker right there, that is home plate. So, you know, they're putting all around the lower part. They're getting the drills, you know, they got the drill rigs there. They're drilling into the ground, so then you can see the outline of the stadium. Then you got the other drill rig back here. So they're, you know, this is pretty much going to be like the lower part of the stadium. So that should be all, you know, all the seating and stuff should be over all this area. And then you can see another drill rig, the blue one over there. So this is pretty much the outline of the stadium in between where them dirt piles are. You know, then it'll come back this way. So when you look at it this way, I mean, all that dirt, both piles, that's pretty much the field area, and then we'll have the seats going up all around it. So this past weekend was the Golden Knights versus the Raiders. They do a charity baseball event out at the ballpark in Summerlin. That's where the Aviators play their games. So I didn't make it out there, but it looked like a good time, and the Raiders won the game this year. Anyone that went there, let us know how it was. Brock Bowers, they were showing him, I think he was the Raiders captain. Said he hit 4 home runs. If I'm not mistaken, they're playing softball, but it looks like a good time. I've never gone to one of them, so anyone that went, let us know how it was. Alright, as I'm looking here right now, just curious if anyone would know what they think this means. So alright, you can see on this fence here we got 30, and then if we look across the way, if I could find it, there it is, and then we got 30 there again. So they actually have this numbered, so we got 30 there, and then if we pan to the left, can see down this way that they have 25. So obviously they're not 25 and 30 yards like it would be for football. They're pretty far apart there, but so they got some kind of marking for, I guess, you know, so they just know where to go. And I don't see any other numbers on this end right now. Okay, so this drill rig down here by this blue and white crane, they are moving it around, getting it set up for something. And it must be getting ready to drill some holes. And then we can look over here. This is something new that wasn't here last week. They got this tent building up. And then we can see they got some kind of equipment underneath it. And they have another one set up over here to the other side of the tower crane. We got this, they're loading all this. This, I think, is all the base. Made in USA. I don't know, it kind of looks like this is the base they're putting in over here for the crane. Let's see over here if it has the same stuff on the ends. Alright, that's zoomed all the way in. So it looks the same. So that looks like, you know, they're offloading off that flip bed all the base to park the cranes on. And speaking of cranes, the one that they brought in, everything's just sitting there. I'm not sure how long it would take to put that thing together. With the tower crane, so this would be, you know, behind home plate, so it'd be on like the south, you know, the southeastish side of the stadium. So I'm wondering if eventually they will put another one on the north end. That is right now where all the dirt is, so of course nothing yet, but just curious if they would have one on each side or if they're just going to use the crawler cranes. Because I'm guessing on this main side by home plate and all that, that'll be where, you know, most of the structure, they'll have all like the, you know, a lot more stuff on that end, I guess. So, you know, the back side's going to have that giant glass wall and all that, so you know, maybe they're not going to need the big tower crane over there to lift stuff into place. Alright, I still get questions about this tower crane down here. Someone even commented that they're gonna probably take it down and move it here. But so that's the Dream Hotel. I did do one video a few months ago because they were putting up the wood construction walls around the property, but they haven't done anything else. I do drive by it, like I drove by this morning again, and the crane's just sitting around waiting. You know, they started some of the construction. I don't know if we'll be able to see any of it in the video right here. You know, they did start putting some structures up, and then they put it on hold, and it's still just sitting there. But I want to show over here, then we can see the airport. You can see some of the airplanes there, and then they have this crane. From here I can't tell what they're working on. I mean, it looks like it's right next to them airplanes, but I can't tell. Are they building whatever that is? Yep, kind of looks like that's some kind of construction there. So there is construction, you know, constantly going on in this town. So from here, that appears like they're building something at the airport. Because there are the different airports on, like, along Las Vegas Boulevard. That's where a lot of the private, you know, like all the private jets and stuff fly into. So that might be like one of those places there. And then down the road a little bit, I haven't seen much progress, but they're going to be building a Brightline high-speed train from here to almost LA, and not sure when that's gonna start though. It was supposed to originally be done, can't get it to focus on the helicopter coming. That was supposed to be done by 2028 also. Got the Olympics coming to California. But now they're saying that that's not going to be done in time for that. But they haven't started building anything. That's where the train station is going to be, down the road a little bit. It's going to be between Warm Springs and Blue Diamond Road off of Las Vegas Boulevard. So if we look down here, you can see this small high-rise down here. That's a little bit past Blue Diamond, so it would be closer this way. But that'll be the Brightline high-speed train that's going to go from here to LA area. I think Rancho Cucamonga is where it's going to end. So when that starts, you know, I don't know how much there'll be to see at a train station getting built, but you know, if you want to see some of that stuff, you know, give me a follow at on my channel, Raiders1967. That'll be added to the, you know, build follows. So they're still doing something with this drill rig, getting it in place. Kind of looks like this little bobcat is pulling out some of the, you know, clearing up some of the dirt that it dug up maybe. Alright, just moved down a little bit here. Just want to see, trying to see what's going on behind this big pile. And then right here we could actually see the home plate marker a lot better. You can see how they got these concrete things that are holding this dirt up, blocking it away from getting buried. And then we could see them working back in here to dig in. So when I was here last week in this area, like over here, if you remember, they had the jackhammer. They were busting up some kind of concrete, where I don't see any jackhammer here now. They're moving some of this dirt around. You can see all the rebar that's gone in the ground on that side of the site. Alright, I'm sure if you follow the athletics, and especially John Fisher, the big news that came out this past week was that John Fisher did purchase a house out here. It's in the Summerlin area. It's in the most expensive area in town. And his house is over 10,000 square feet. And it is the third most expensive house ever sold in the Las Vegas area for right over $29 million. So, you know, there's still a lot of talk that he's not coming to town, but you don't spend almost $30 million on a house if you're not coming here. And, you know, so it is going to happen. I know it's a touchy subject for a lot of people, but yeah, he did buy a house right after, you know, the stadium authority and everyone approved the stadium getting built here. So look it up. Just, you could Google his name and $29 million house. It's they said that Bill Foley, the owner of the Vegas Golden Knights, he has a house up in there. You know, it's just a lot of that's where all the really high-end rich people live. Mark Davis, they said, did have a townhome or something in there, but he's building a big giant mansion down in Henderson. I'm not sure how much longer till that one is finished, but he's gonna be in Henderson. Basically, he's got like... Alright, as I was talking, my battery died in my regular camera here, so I'm on the cell phone now. So as I was saying though, Mark Davis, he was living in that same development, but he is building a mansion up in Henderson. It's pretty much on the side of a mountain. Can't see it from here. It would be back, you know, back this way here. But I thought I remember he got like 6 acres on the side of this mountain, so he'll be able to see all of the Las Vegas Valley, and I guess even a view of Allegiant Stadium, which is back, you know, behind this area. And we're gonna zoom in down by here. This is where they're building all these rebar cages. See, right now nobody's working on any right there, but you can see how many they put together all sitting over here. Alright, so those are the gates over there by, that's off of Reno Avenue. We got the food truck came in. Sorry for the shake, I'm holding my phone now, so no tripod at all for this. Usually my camera battery will last pretty long, but I've had the camera in my trunk and it's been so hot, and I did notice that, you know, the longer it sits in the hot car, it seems like the battery dies a lot faster. And of course I left the spare batteries in my car right now, so they don't work too well when you don't bring them with you. Lesson learned. And it's not the first time. So I did buy a new camera. I just got it the other day. I haven't set it up yet to try it. So it's called an Insta360. So basically it's a 360 camera where you could, you know, you just record and it records the whole 360 perimeter of where you're filming, and then it will, you know, then you could frame it. So it'll be something I'm gonna try. I mean, they don't have zoom on them, so I don't know like how well it will work out, you know, for something like this. But I just want to get in all these different cameras just to try to bring different perspectives. So I'm going to work on getting that one going. That way we'll try to get you some different types of views out here, or just around Vegas in general. You know, something like that would be where you can mount it on the roof of your car, drive down Las Vegas Boulevard, and then pick out the best, you know, whatever you're passing by, you could frame into the video. So look for something like that coming eventually. And if you aren't subscribed, please subscribe to my channel, Raiders1967, to get updates on this build. And of course I'm out there at the Hard Rock site for the Hard Rock transformation, where they're building right now the giant guitar tower. That has a couple more years left of that build, and then this one just under 3 years. So I'd like to thank everyone for watching, and I will talk with you guys next time.